Hi, in this video I would like to show you the process of making this lidded jar. It is made by pouring molten bronze into a sand mold created with 3D printed patterns. I designed the jar and the whole casting assembly in Fusion 360. The patterns are printed from PLA and connected to the base plate with steel pins. The first steel frame you see here is actually the middle one of three that together make up the sandbox. I use oil-based foundry sand, especially for bronze casting. After compressing the sand around the patterns in the first box, the excess gets scraped off. The next part of the model is attached with steel pins and the taller top frame is put on. I use talcum powder as a release agent so I can compress the next layer of sand without it sticking to the sand underneath. It is very important to fully compress the sand to create a stable mold. The pattern for the channels got stuck on the plate, so I put it back into the sand. I also swapped the half pattern of the lid with the complete one that you see here. I use long bolts to align and connect the three steel frames. Now it's time to fill and compress the sand in the last part of the box. To make the jar hollow, I'm using a sand core. The form for the sand core is also 3D printed from PLA. The time has come to separate the three parts of the box and remove the pattern for the channels. It is also possible to cut the channels into the sand, but I prefer to mold them in. It is only a small 3D printed part and it is cleaner and quicker in the process. I'm creating the sprue by pressing a steel tube through the sand in the middle and top box. Very carefully I remove the pattern of the jar. Here you see me poking small air channels from the highest part of the model out to the top of the sand mold. When the molten bronze is poured through the sprue into the mold, the air inside can escape through these vents. I'm cutting a funnel on top of the sprue and pressing on or removing any loose sand, so it doesn't cause porosity in the finished piece. Some light taps help release the last pattern from the sand mold. As you can see here, there is one bolt connection on one side of the steel frames and two on the opposite side. This is to minimize the chance of reassembling the mold with a part of it in the wrong orientation. I'm blending in the parting line on the sand core before I carefully place it inside the mold. With the top part of the sandbox installed, The sand mold is now complete and it's time to prepare the pour. I fill the crucible with copper millberry and tin pellets in a ratio of 9:1 to create a bronze alloy with approximately 10% tin content. I also add sprue cut-offs and leftovers from previous pours once the bulky cable scraps have molten. My furnace runs on propane and forced air. The pour is always the most exciting and fun part of the process. After the bronze has cooled down and solidified, the mold can be opened. By removing as much of the burned sand as possible, the quality of the rest can be sustained, and the foundry sand can be reused over and over again. After separating the sprue and the channels from the casting, the next part is to finish the jar and the lid and make sure they fit together nicely. I sand all surfaces smoothly before the jar and the lid are chemically patinated. After applying a coat of Renaissance wax, the piece is finished.